Good morning. We have very few participants this morning, so I am going to record this lesson so that we can have it for future use. If you don't mind, I am going to share my screen so that you can see the slides, the stress management. And I am going to start this slideshow so that you will have it as well. Today, we're going to talk about stress management. How many of you actually attended the seminar on time management? Just raise your hand or either put something in chat. The reason I ask that question is because stress management is not that different from time management. And the reason being, if we manage our time wisely, then many times we don't get stressed. When we don't manage our time wisely, that's when we end up getting stressed. So as we talk about stress management, we're going to look at different ways to view stress. We're going to look at ways how we can manage stress and how we can prevent unnecessary stress. Here is a definition here that I would like to share with you, the definition of stress and stress management. Stress is basically how your body responds to changes. Many times if your body responds in a negative way, many times we get anxious, we get grieved, we panic, or we become ashamed, or we get depressed. So stress is basically how your body responds to changes, how your bodies respond to changes, your body's response to changes. Stress management is the way we deal with the stresses in our lives so that we don't get stressed. It helps us to manage our stress, to help us see it in different ways. And as I said previously, time management, if we manage our time wisely, stress is less in our lives. There are different types of stress. There's good stress and bad stress. And in your mind, you're probably thinking, stress, how can it be good? Yeah, there is good stress. When we plan and we get results from our goals that we've set, that we plan, we're happy. So when we're happy, we're feeling excited, we're feeling alive, and that's good stress. Because when we're excited, when we're happy, that's good stress. Bad stress is acute stress, and really bad stress is chronic stress, that we have stress all the time. And you see some people like that. They're stressed out all the time when you see them. When you think about stress, when you think about good stress, think about stress is nothing but desserts spelled backwards. And we know that desserts are good. So think of it as good stress. Now, how do we turn bad stress into good stress? We can do that a number of ways. We can focus on the good, the positive things rather than the negative things. And sometimes I know that is very difficult to do, but we need to learn to do that, because every single negative, almost, if you think about it, you can turn it into a positive. Everything that's bad is not always bad. Sometimes bad things turn into good things, and we're glad that it happens. So from now on, when you think about something bad, think about something that's good as well. Because every time you list something bad, I guarantee you, if you list it out, you will find something good in that bad. Focus on your strengths. As a person, all of us have different strengths. So focus on your strengths and not your negatives. Again, as I just said, you turn your negative outputs or your negative thoughts into positive outputs. Many times, if we are thinking about something negative, if we start working on something positive, our outputs will make us forget about the negatives and think about the positive, the good. When you're being negative, if you start being productive, you can turn your bad stress into good stress. You can also review your threats as a challenge, not a negative outcome. Challenges exist on a daily. So rather than thinking about a negative outcome, think about it as a challenge. Think about it as a way that you need to solve problems. And that will help us turn the bad stress into a good stress. In other words, change your thought process, how you look at things and what you believe about stress. When you change your thought process in almost anything that you do, you have a tendency to look at it differently. And it can be productive, it can be progressive. It just depends upon how you look at things. If you look at everything as bad, everything is going to be bad. If you look at everything that's negative, bad, negative, it's going to be bad, negative. Everything you look at, if it's good, it can be good. If it's positive, it can be positive. My husband, for example, sometimes I look at things in the negative. He always looks at things in the positive. And one of the things that he always says to me is, everything happens to me when it's supposed to happen. He doesn't think about the future. He doesn't think about the past. He thinks about the now, which is really good. And sometimes that's very difficult to do. But I've noticed that people that do that, they are less stressed, they're very carefree, and they're just different people. So when you think about all these things, think about how you can envision the future without stress. There are a lot of available resources for stress. As you can see on your right side of the screen, I have a bunch of hands that are raised. The reason I put that picture there to see all of the hands is to let you know you have more than one resource available. And if you start looking at resources, you probably have more resources available to you than that there are hands on this picture. You want to invest in yourself as a person. Many people don't do that, but some of the available resources that are available to you is yourself. Think about yourself and what you want to do. Think positive. Talk with the student success advisor. We're here. That's what we're here for, to help you change your thinking, to help you do what you need to do as a student. Talk with your instructors and your professors. They're here to help you. If you ask questions, many times they will answer you. Sometimes you have questions that you may not want to ask in a class. Ask them if you can talk with them a few minutes before or after class, if you don't want to talk to them for everybody to hear what you're saying. Just ask about their availability. They're here to help, and most of the time they're going to say yes. So ask, especially if you don't want it to be public. Ask them if they have time before or after class, or either can you come to their office? Could they set up an appointment for you? Your librarians are here to help. You also have your parents at home if you need someone to talk to. Again, we have tutors in the Student Success Center. If you work here, they're co-workers or cohorts. If you have a mentor or a good, reliable friend. Now, I'm not saying that you talk to a friend that you don't trust. If you have a good, reliable friend that you trust, who's not going to go back out and repeat everything that you say, you might want to talk to that person. And you might just want to listen and talk to the people that you trust, because it makes a difference. But you have to be able to trust them. You don't just talk to anybody for the sake of talking. Talk to people that you trust. and that you feel comfortable talking to. Now, how to reset, and what do I mean by reset? Reset is the same thing as moving from bad to good, moving your thoughts from bad to good. Stop thinking negative, think good, think positive. Again, you can talk to a friend or a counselor. You can look for the good in everything, because there's good, believe it or not, in everything. And you can just change channels, change your channels from negative to positive. Now, I am not saying that that is easy to do. It is not easy to do. It's very difficult to do, but you can do it. And you can ask someone to help you. If someone finds that you are being negative and everything that you say is negative, everything that you do is negative, ask that person to help you, to help you turn things into a positive, to help you see things in a positive manner. Ask them to help you change the channel so that people don't see you as negative. Sometimes people see people as negative and they hate to see them coming, because they know it's going to be an old me or something that they don't want to hear. Sometimes my sister tells me, she said, "You're the most negative person that I know." And I said to her, I'm not always negative. I think I'm very realistic. But sometimes when I look at what she's saying to me, there are things that I don't think is negative, but she sees it as negative. So that's probably the way it is with some other people that you know too. You may say or do things that you don't think is negative, but some people may see it as negative. So you should look at how people respond when you say certain things. Again, talk about it, look at how people are responding, and change the channel when necessary. Proactive stress management. In other words, proactive, let's deal with it before it gets very stressful, okay? And proactive is just the way a number of us deal with stress, the things that we do when we are stressed. As I've said before, as you've heard me say about 3 or 4 times already, if we manage our time effectively, most of the time we won't get stressed. Most of us do not manage our time effectively, and we wait to the last minute to do things. And when you do that, you do have a tendency to get stressed. When you procrastinate, you do have a tendency to get stressed. Another thing that we do to help eliminate stress, a lot of people exercise. A lot of people walk. Those are just things that you enjoy doing. Some people may swim. Some people may just take a nice hot shower. Some people may take a nice hot tub bath. Some people may just take drink a glass of wine. And I'm not telling you to go out there and drink any wine. And if you do go out there and drink wine, I'm talking about just a little bit, a half a glass, nothing that's going to get you drunk. But wine sometimes relax folks. Some people just may drink a hot cup of coffee. Some people may go get a hot cup of coffee and a dessert. Just a number of things that can help you relax. Some people go to a nice restaurant. That's what I used to do. But now, of course, we can't go to restaurants, so that's not one of the things that I do. A healthy diet helps you to be less stressful. And if you just organize yourself, organize your time, organize a study space, you would be amazed at the difference that you will not be as stressed when you get yourself organized. Some people also play music to relax them so that they're not stressed. I do that sometimes. I love old music when it was really music. I have a tendency to do that on a Saturday evening. Just listen to music, just relax. So there are a number of ways that you can do things where you're not stressed. Some people may go get a massage because that can be very relaxing. And there are many things that I don't even have on this list that you can do to prevent stress or to help you be less stressed. You've heard me, again, talk about time management. Why is it so important? Because time management is a thing that it helps us to balance. Time management helps us have a spiritual life, a work life, and a family life if we balance our time correctly. Time management, it helps us to be more productive and less stressed. We can manage our time better by doing task lists and schedules, and we can set goals. If we don't do those things, it's very difficult to manage our time. But if we do those things, it helps us to be balanced and it helps us to be less stressed. Organization is important because if we have no organization, we're stressed. If we have organization, it's less chaos, it's less disorder, and the unknown doesn't frighten us as much. Those are the things that normally stress us out. When there's chaos, when things are not in order, there's disarray, or the unknown, when we don't know what the unknown is. Sometimes we have a tendency to get stressed out. And we really shouldn't focus about the unknown because many times there's nothing we can do about it. So we shouldn't focus on the unknown. How to avoid unnecessary stress. We practice the 4 A's to avoid unnecessary stress. And you're probably asking, what are the 4 A's? The 4 A's are before you: avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. These things can help us avoid unnecessary stress. For example, when we say avoid people and things that stress you out. If you don't have to be around these people, don't be around them. So take control of your environment. Avoid the things, avoid the people that make you stress. Alter, have you ever seen these people with to-do lists that's so long, you know that they're not going to get it done, but they have it on their to-do list anyway? They probably need to reduce their to-do list. They probably need to make it make sense. Rather than putting 100 things on the to-do list, they probably need to narrow it down to like 10 or 15. Now, some of it is probably redundant if they took time to really look at it. So reduce your to-do list to make it make sense. Again, practice the 4 A's of stress management. And most importantly, you need to identify the source of your stress in your life. Once you identify the source of stress in your life, you can eliminate it. So it is important that you identify the source of stress in your life. Once you identify it, you need to start working on eliminating it because it could be a number of things. Adapt, we need to be willing to compromise. We need to take time to reframe our problems. In other words, look at the big picture and learn to say no. Manage your time. Learn to say no. You need to adapt. You can't say yes to everything because you're just going to stress yourself out. Say yes to the important things. Say no to the unnecessary things, the things that are not important. If we don't want any stress in our life, these are things we need to learn how to do. To keep also from being stressed, we need to not try to control everything. Don't try to control the things that we can't control. In other words, the uncontrollable, let it go. Don't worry about it. If you can't control it, let it go. Sometimes you need to adjust your standards. Sometimes we have standards so high we can't meet them ourselves. So therefore, it is very hard to do. You don't like to adjust your standards when you see other folks that have no standards. So you don't like to adjust your standards. But we need to learn how to adjust our standards to a degree, and we need to practice gratitude. And I'm saying adjust your standards to the point where you feel uncomfortable with yourself? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying adjust your standards to the point where you don't allow yourself to be stressed. Productive stress is when you plan and then you act out your plan. You implement your plan. You use your excitement as a boost to get your plan done. ways to reduce stress. As you can see with this lady in the picture, these are not roses, but she's smelling flowers. And I'm sure you've heard that saying, take time to smell the roses. And that's what we need to do to help us reduce our stress. We need to be present. We need to sort things out. And we need to classify things. We need to put things in categories sometimes. Focus on what you can control, not the things that you can't control. And again, exercise, exercise, exercise is an excellent stress reliever. Just take a nice little walk. When I say exercise, I don't mean strenuous exercise. You can just do light exercise to make you feel better. Just take a walk or anything that's light. You don't have to do anything heavy. Again, maintain a schedule would be helpful. Decide when you're going to eat, decide when you're going to work out, decide when you're going to study, decide when you're going to go to church. Make that schedule and maintain it. Now, some of us, you don't like a schedule. Schedules can be helpful, whether you like them or not. My husband is very rigid. He's very regimented. And sometimes he gets on my nerve. But to be honest with you, it works for him. And when he does it, he's very productive. And he's one of those people who is very headstrong. But when he focuses, it's amazing to watch him because he knows what he's going to do. And almost everything he sets out to do, he's very successful at it. The other thing we need to do is just unplug. Turn off your electronic devices. We think we can't move without an electronic device. And most of the time we feel absolutely lost when we don't have our electronic devices. If we could get our phones for a day, it's almost like, oh my God, and I'm gonna get through the day. It's hard, but just unplug and relax. Turn off the TV sometimes, turn off the phone, turn off the radio. Just take time for a moment for yourself. Just calm down and relax. Just take time for yourself. I'm not even going to say the word. You're looking at the slides. I'm going to say prioritize because the other word is so important and you've heard me say it like 10 times already. But prioritize. Set limits with your friends, your family, your cohorts, and your peers. Balance your work, your health, and your spirituality. And one of the other things that is so good for stress is laughter. In my office, there's an office next to us, and there's a young man. When he laughs, he sounds so jovial. I just love to hear him laugh. And laughter is a great stress reliever. Believe it or not, if you don't believe me, check the research. But laughter is one of those things that is listed as a great stress reliever. So enjoy life. Just enjoy life and relax. Take it one day at a time. There are several apps out there that can help you relax. They're listed here. Some of those you may want to try. Now, Spotify is nothing but, the music thing, but relax. Try some of these apps just to see how you like them. I think a few of them you will actually like. So just try it to see if they'll help you relax. Personal Zen, Happify, Insight Timer, Sandvelo, and Spotify. I haven't tried all of them. I did try one or two of them to see if they were stress relievers, and they really are. So try them to see if it can help you to relax. And I apologize for that. It says help you, or should be help you to relax. Again, these things here are great stress relievers. As you heard me say, change your thought process, use your resources that are available to you, manage your time effectively, organize things, be productive, be proactive, be present, change your bad habits to good, Set your limits. Create a reasonable task list. Exercise, laugh, and enjoy life. And that is the end. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat box, or either please feel free to stop by the Student Success Center. We're here and we will be glad to assist you. Thank you so much and have a great day.